if you will. A young person, much like any of us here today, this individual, filled with dreams and aspirations, finds themselves in a situation far from ideal, struggling, facing challenges that seem insurmountable. They make a choice. Instead of focusing solely on their hardships, they look outward, seeking opportunities to do good, lend a helping hand to those around them, even when their own cup seems barely half full. Now, I want you to consider this. Have you ever experienced a moment when a simple act of kindness changed your day? Perhaps someone offered you a smile when you were lost in thought, or a stranger helped you pick up items you dropped. Their actions, a small beacon of light in your day. It's fascinating, isn't it? How these moments stay with us, how they seem to create ripples, affecting not just our mood, but often our very outlook on life. This young person, by choosing generosity over bitterness, set into motion a series of events that one might call extraordinary. By offering their time, their empathy, they not only uplifted those around them, but found that with each act of kindness, their own burden felt lighter, their path clearer. It wasn't immediate, no. Like the greatest of life's rewards, it took time. But as they continued to give, the universe, in its unique way, began to give back. Now I pose to you a question. Do you believe that our actions, especially those rooted in goodness, can come back to us? Perhaps in ways we never anticipated. You see, this isn't merely about waiting for good fortune to come knocking at our door. It's about creating a cycle of positivity, a belief that what we put out into the world has a way of coming back, enriching our lives in abundance. Let me share with you another story. This one a bit closer to home. There was a time when I found myself at a crossroads, unsure of the direction my life was taking. It was during this period of uncertainty that I encountered someone in need. It was a small gesture on my part. Nothing that would make the evening news, but to that person, it meant the world. And you know what? That act of kindness, insignificant as it seemed, came back to me in a way I could never have imagined. It opened doors, created opportunities that led me to where I'm today. So my friends, as we navigate through life challenges, not underestimate the power of positive action, the incredible impact of doing good. Ask ourselves, how can I contribute? How can I make someone's day a little brighter? It doesn't have to be grand. Often it's the smallest acts that ignite the most significant changes. In our lives, each of us is constantly planting seeds through our actions, decisions, and the words we choose to share with the world. This is a universal truth that transcends cultures, borders, and generations. It's rooted in a timeless principle known as the law of cause and effect, a principle that simply states, for every action, there is a reaction. Now, you might have heard this concept referred to as karma, or perhaps more colloquially, as the boomerang effect. It's the idea that what you send out into the world has a way of coming back to you, often in ways you might never expect. Let me paint you a picture with this a simple story. Imagine a young boy, no older than 10, who one day finds a wallet on the ground filled with money. Instead of keeping it, he decides to find the owner and return it. The owner, so touched by the boy's honesty, decides to invest in his education. Many years later, that boy grows up to be a successful professional, all because of a single act of integrity. This story illustrates the boomerang effect in its simplest form. You see, the boy could never have predicted the long-term impact of his decision, yet the universe found a way to reward his good deed. Now, I want you to think about this. Have you ever done something good without expecting anything in return, only to find yourself on the receiving end of unexpected good fortune? It's almost as if the universe has its way of balancing the scales, ensuring that goodness is rewarded, though often not in the ways we might anticipate. Consider for a moment the actions we take daily, from the seemingly insignificant, like smiling at a stranger, to the more substantial acts of kindness, like helping a friend in need. Each action sets off a chain reaction, rippling through the fabric of the universe, touching lives in ways we might never fully understand. It's like throwing a pebble into a pond and watching the ripples expand outward, reaching far beyond the initial point of impact. Now let's delve a bit deeper into this concept. You might wonder, how does one begin to align their actions with this law of cause and effect? The answer lies in the choices we make every day. It begins with a conscious decision. You have to act with kindness, integrity, and generosity, to put goodness into the world with the faith that it will indeed come back to us. But let me be clear. This isn't about performing good deeds with the expectation of reward. No, it's about adopting a way of living that recognizes the inherent value in doing good for its own sake. It's understanding that our actions are like seeds. We plant today, which may blossom into unforeseen blessings tomorrow. So start small. Hold the door open for someone, volunteer your time, donate to a cause you believe in. Watch how these actions over time begin to transform not just the world around you, but you yourself. You'll find that as you do good, you feel good, and this feeling becomes its own reward. But remember, the law of cause and effect also cautions us about the consequences of negative actions. Just as goodness can boomerang back, so too can negativity. It serves as a reminder to choose our actions wisely, to act with consideration and compassion, knowing that what we put out into the world has a way of finding its way back to us. Reflect on your own life, to recognize the power you hold within your hands, the power to influence the world around you. In positive ways, embrace the law of cause and effect and let it guide you towards actions that sow seeds of goodness and kindness. For in doing so, you not only enrich the lives of those around you, but pave the way for a future filled with unexpected blessings. Remember, the universe is always watching, always balancing the scales, and in the end, goodness has a way of coming back around. Make sure we're sending out the kind of energy which we welcome with open arms. Each thread we weave, every goal we set, carries with it the potential to not only shape our destiny, but also to enrich the fabric of the world around us. Today, I want to talk to you about setting goals. Not just any goals, but those imbued with goodness, goals that extend beyond the boundaries of personal gain to touch the lives of others, to make the world a little brighter, a little kinder. Imagine for a moment, what if every ambition we nurtured, every dream we chased, carried within it a seed of benefit for someone else? What if success wasn't measured by what we accumulate for ourselves, but by how much we contribute to the well-being of others? It's an intriguing thought, isn't it? Now, setting goals is akin to plotting a course on a map. It gives direction, focus, and purpose to our efforts. But when we infuse these goals with the intention to do good, to contribute positively to the lives of those around us, we elevate them. We transform our pursuit of success into a journey of significance. Let me share a story that beautifully illustrates this concept. There was once a young entrepreneur who, like many, dreamed of building a successful business. However, his vision was different. He dreamed of creating a company that would not only thrive financially, but would also provide employment opportunities in his struggling community. He understood that his success could be a lifeline for many, a chance to uplift not just himself, but his entire community. And so he set his goals with this broader purpose in mind. Years later, his business did indeed flourish, but more importantly, it became a beacon of hope, a source of pride and sustenance for many families in his hometown. This story exemplifies the power of setting goals with goodness in mind. It shows us that when our aspirations extend beyond personal achievements, they can transform lives, communities, and eventually the world. So how do we begin to set such goals? It starts with introspection, with asking ourselves some profound questions. How can my talents and passions serve a greater purpose? What needs do I see in my community, in the world, that I feel compelled to address? How can my personal and professional ambitions contribute to the well-being of others? Setting goals with goodness in mind doesn't mean you have to change the world overnight. It means integrating a mindset of contribution and service into your existing aspirations. It means recognizing that success is not a zero-sum game. Your gain is not another's loss. In fact, the most fulfilling victories are those shared with others, those that lift others as we rise. You consider, for instance, a goal as simple as improving your health. On the surface, it seems purely personal. But dig deeper and you'll find a goal that can significantly impact your family, friends, and community. Healthier you can be, more present, more engaged, and more capable of supporting and inspiring those around you. Similarly, a professional goal to grow your business can be shaped to not only increase profits, but also to create more jobs, to adopt sustainable practices, to support local initiatives. In setting goals with goodness in mind, we also discover a source of motivation far more powerful than personal gain. The desire to contribute to the well-being of others, to make a positive difference in the world, can propel us through challenges and setbacks with a resilience that self-centered goals rarely inspire. And so as we ponder our ambitions, dare to dream big, not just for ourselves, but for the world we are a part of. Set goals that reflect our deepest values that tap into our unique abilities to contribute to something greater than ourselves. Be architects of a future where success is measured not by what we take, but by what we give. Not by our wealth, but by our contribution to the world's well-being. There's a quality so profound, yet often overlooked, that has the power to transform not just our lives, but those around us. This quality, my friends, is generosity. Now, when we speak of generosity, it's not just about opening our wallets, but about opening our hearts, extending our hands, and sharing our resources, be they time, knowledge, or skills. Have you ever pondered why the act of giving feels so gratifying? Why, in extending kindness to others, do we find a deep sense of fulfillment? The answer lies in the very fabric of our being. You see, generosity aligns with our innate need for connection, for belonging, and for contributing to the greater good. It's a testament to the age-old adage, it is more blessed to give than to receive. Let's delve a little deeper into the psychological benefits of generosity. Studies have shown that when we give, our brain releases endorphins, creating a phenomenon often referred to as the helper's high. This act of giving not only boosts our mood, but also reduces stress, enhances our emotional well-being, and can even contribute to our physical health, lowering blood pressure and increasing our lifespan. But how do we cultivate a generosity mindset? How do we make giving and helping not just something we do, but a part of who we are? It begins with small steps, with recognizing that every act of kindness, no matter how small, makes a difference. Firstly, start by being generous with your attention. In a world where everyone is busy chasing their tails, offering your full attention to someone can be a precious gift. Listen actively, show empathy, and be present. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can offer someone is your presence and understanding. Secondly, practice gratitude. Gratitude and generosity go hand in hand. By acknowledging and appreciating what we have, we open our hearts to share with others. Make it a habit to reflect on the things you're thankful for each day, and you'll naturally find yourself more inclined to spread kindness and generosity. Next, seek out opportunities to give. Generosity doesn't wait for opportunities. It creates them, whether it's volunteering for a cause close to your heart, offering to help a colleague with a project, or simply sharing a word of encouragement with a friend going through tough times. Always be on the lookout for ways to contribute positively to the lives of others. Another practical tip is to set aside a portion, your income, for charity. It doesn't have to be a large amount. Even a small, consistent contribution can make a significant impact over time. The key is to make it a regular part of your financial planning, a non-negotiable aspect of your budget. Moreover, embrace the joy of anonymous giving. There's something uniquely gratifying about helping someone without them knowing where it came from. It reinforces the idea that our generosity isn't about seeking recognition, but about the genuine desire to make a difference. And not to forget, generosity also means being kind to ourselves. You cannot pour from an empty cup. By taking care of your own needs and showing yourself compassion, you replenish your capacity to give to others. Now, I want you to think of generosity not as a duty, but as a privilege, an opportunity to connect, to uplift, and to enrich the tapestry of our shared humanity. Imagine a world where each of us embodies this spirit of generosity, where we look beyond our own needs to the needs of those around us. What a world that would be. It's often the smallest pebbles that create the largest ripples. The acts of kindness we share, seemingly insignificant at the moment, can set in motion a cascade of positivity that stretches far beyond our imagination. Today, let me share stories that embody this very essence. Stories where simple gestures of kindness have triggered a chain reaction, transforming lives and shaping destinies. There's a tale, perhaps you've heard it, of a young student who found himself short on tuition money. He was sitting in a diner, calculating his expenses, realizing that his dream of continuing education was slipping through his fingers. A stranger, sitting a few stools down, quietly observed the young man's distress. Upon leaving, this stranger paid for his meal and left an envelope with the exact amount needed to cover his tuition fees. This young student was none other than the Nobel Prize winning author, Gabriel Garcia Marquez. The generosity of a single individual not only helped him through school, but also paved the way for his literary journey, touching the hearts of millions worldwide. Then there's the story of a woman named Mary. Early in her career, she worked as a personal assistant for a businessman. The job was demanding, often thankless, but Mary did her best, always with a smile, always with grace. Years passed, and the businessman's success grew, as did Mary's skills and resilience. When the businessman decided to retire, he didn't sell his company. Instead, he handed it over to Mary, the assistant who had stood by him through thick and thin. Mary transformed that company, branching out, reaching new heights. Her story is a testament to how recognizing and rewarding kindness can lead to unexpected success. Consider also the power of a simple, supportive word at the right moment. Albert Einstein, during his early years, was often discouraged by his teachers, told he would never amount to much. However, his mother saw potential in him that no one else did. She nurtured his curiosity, celebrated his questions, and provided the encouragement he needed to explore his passion for science. It was this support, this unwavering belief in his abilities that fueled Einstein's perseverance, leading him to revolutionize our understanding of the universe. Now bring it closer to home. Think of a time when someone's kindness made a difference in your life. Maybe it was a teacher who stayed after school to help you understand a difficult concept, or a friend who lent an ear when you needed it most. These moments, these acts of kindness are the threads that weave the fabric of our shared humanity. But how do we ensure that this ripple effect of kindness continues? It starts with us with the recognition that every action, no matter how small, has the potential to make a significant impact. It's about making a conscious decision to look beyond our immediate concerns, to see the opportunities for kindness that surround us every day, and challenge ourselves to be the initiators of these ripples. Pay for someone's coffee, offer your seat to someone in need, volunteer your time for a cause you believe in, and when you're on the receiving end of kindness, pay it forward. Let that act of goodness inspire you to do the same for someone else. As we all endeavor to leave our mark and make the world a better place, it's inevitable that we'll encounter hurdles. It's as if the road to achieving our goals and doing good is dotted with obstacles designed to test our resolve. Yet, it's not the presence of these obstacles that defines us, but how we choose to navigate them. Let me share a story with you, a story that beautifully illustrates the power of overcoming obstacles with grace. There was once a young artist full of passion and dreams who faced rejection after rejection. Each critique, each closed door could have been a reason to give up, to let go of his aspirations. Instead, he chose to view each rejection as a stepping stone, a chance to improve and refine his craft. Today, his art hangs in galleries worldwide, inspiring countless others. His journey wasn't smooth, but his unwavering positivity and grace in the face of adversity turned his obstacles into opportunities. So how do we maintain this positive outlook and generous spirit? When faced with our challenges, the answer lies in our perspective and our actions. First, it's crucial to embrace a mindset of growth. Understand that every challenge, every setback is a lesson in disguise. It's an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to emerge stronger. When you encounter an obstacle, ask yourself, what can this teach me? By shifting your perspective from one of frustration to one of curiosity, you transform your obstacles into teachers. Practice resilience. Resilience is not about avoiding falls, but about learning how to get back up. It's about bouncing back with even more determination. Cultivate resilience by setting small, achievable goals that lead you through your larger challenges. Celebrate each victory, no matter how small, and let it fuel your journey forward. Never underestimate the power of gratitude. You're having 10 moments of struggle. Take a step back and count your blessings. It's easy to focus on what's going wrong, but by acknowledging what's going right, you maintain a sense of balance and perspective. Gratitude not only uplifts your spirit, but also attracts more positivity into your life. It's also vital to surround yourself with support. The people around you can be your greatest source of strength. Lean on friends, family, and mentors who believe in you, who uplift you, and remind you of your purpose, especially when you lose sight of it yourself. Keep your generous spirit alive by continuing to do good for others, even when you're facing your own battles. Sometimes the act of helping someone else can bring clarity and strength to overcome your obstacles. It's a reminder that we're all connected, that your struggle is part of a larger tapestry, and that your actions, no matter how small, can make a significant difference. Take care of yourself. It's challenging to maintain a positive outlook and a generous spirit if you're running on empty. Self-care is not selfish. It's essential. By taking care of your physical, emotional, and mental well-being, you ensure that you have the strength and energy to face whatever comes your way. Remember, the path to doing good and achieving your goals is rarely smooth. It's fraught with challenges and setbacks, but it's also filled with opportunities for growth, learning, and immense satisfaction. The obstacles you face are not roadblocks, but stepping stones, each one taking you closer to your goals, shaping you into a person of strength, character, and grace. So walk this path with determination and grace, embracing each challenge as an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to contribute positively to the world. Keep pushing forward, not just for yourself, but for the countless others your journey will inspire. Remember, it's through overcoming obstacles that we truly discover our potential, and in doing so, we light the way for others to follow. Each thread we weave is colored by our experiences, knowledge, and the growth we achieve along the way. This continuous journey of learning and personal development isn't just about enhancing our own lives. It's about amplifying our capacity to contribute positively to the world around us. Imagine for a moment a world where each individual ceaselessly strives to learn, to grow, and to harness their unique talents, not solely for personal gain, but for the greater good. Imagine the boundless opportunities for positive change we could create. This, my friends, is the essence of lifelong learning and its significance in fostering a world brimming with kindness, understanding, and progress. Delve deeper into this concept. Why is lifelong learning so crucial? And how does it tie into our ability to do more good in the world? Consider the story of a teacher in a small village. With limited resources and outdated teaching methods, the impact she could make was confined. Recognizing this, she embarked on a quest for knowledge, utilizing every available resource to learn new, innovative teaching methods. Her relentless pursuit of personal development transformed not just her classroom, but the entire community. Her students, now more engaged and inspired, went on to achieve things once deemed impossible for a small village school. This teacher's journey of lifelong learning didn't just elevate her own life, it uplifted an entire generation. This story illustrates an fundamental truth. Our growth directly influences our ability. The agency of sect change. Each new skill we acquire, every piece of knowledge we absorb, expands our ability to contribute positively to those around us. So how do we embark on this path of lifelong learning and growth? It begins with cultivating a mindset of curiosity and an unyielding desire to grow. Embrace the notion that no matter our age or stage in life, there's always more to learn, more ways to grow, and more opportunities to positively impact the world. First, seek out knowledge in your field of passion or expertise, whether through books, courses, or mentorships. Deepening your understanding and honing your skills not only enhances your personal satisfaction, but also increases your capacity to serve others effectively. Second, venture beyond your comfort zone. Learning isn't confined to our areas of expertise. By exploring new disciplines, we develop a broader perspective, fostering creativity and innovation that can be applied in myriad ways to benefit society. Share your knowledge. The true power of learning is magnified when it's shared. By teaching others, we not only reinforce our own understanding, but also empower those around us to make a difference. Whether it's through mentoring, volunteering, or simply sharing insights with friends and family, every act of sharing knowledge is a seed planted for future growth. Embrace failure as a teacher. The path of lifelong learning is strewn with challenges and setbacks. Yet it's through these obstacles that we gain our most valuable lessons. Each failure, each mistake is an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to emerge stronger. Remember, the greatest advancements often arise from the ashes of failed attempts. Also, remember the importance of soft skills, empathy, communication, teamwork. Our quest to do good, these skills are invaluable, enabling us to connect, understand, and work effectively with others for common goals. In our pursuit of a life filled with purpose and meaning, the company we keep can elevate us to unprecedented heights or anchor us to the ground. Imagine the power of a community, a collective of individuals united by the singular vision of doing good in the world. This, my dear friends, is not just a dream, but a possibility that begins with each one of us. The principle of doing good, of extending kindness beyond ourselves, is a beacon that can guide us through the darkest of times. It's a principle that, when shared among a community, can illuminate paths not just for the individuals within it, but for the wider world. The question then arises, How do we find these like-minded souls? How do we attract and nurture relationships with individuals who inspire us to be our best selves? The journey begins with ourselves. To attract goodness, we must first embody it. Like attracts like, as they say. When you commit yourself to acts of kindness, pursuing growth and contributing positively to the world, you become a magnet for individuals on a similar path. It's about being the change we wish to see. As Gandhi so eloquently put it, engage in activities and causes that resonate with your values. Volunteering, joining clubs or groups focused on social change, participating in community service projects. These are but a few avenues where you might find others who share your vision of a better world. These settings not only provide a platform for doing good, but also for connecting with others who have made that same noble choice. Open communication is key. Share your passions, your goals, and your dreams. In revealing our true selves, we invite others to do the same, fostering an environment of mutual support and inspiration. It's through these shared visions that strong, meaningful relationships are forged. Remember, the goal is not to create an echo chamber, but a symphony of diverse voices, united by a common theme of positivity and growth. Encourage dialogue, exchange ideas, and be open to learning from one another. It's in the diversity of our experiences and perspectives that our community finds its strength. Nurturing these relationships is an ongoing process. It requires effort, patience, and a genuine interest in the well-being of others. Celebrate the successes of your community members as if they were your own. Offer support in times of struggle. The bonds formed through shared victories and challenges are the ones that stand the test of time. Leadership plays a crucial role in building a community of goodness. Lead by example. Be the person others look up to for guidance. Not because you seek to be placed on a pedestal, but because you genuinely strive to make a difference. Leadership in this context is about empowering others, inspiring them to believe in their ability to contribute positively to the world. Technology, too, can be a powerful tool in this endeavor. Use social media, blogs, and forums not just as platforms for self-expression, but as bridges connecting you to others who share your passion for doing good. In this digital age, our community need not be confined by geographical boundaries. The global village is our oyster, and within it, we can find kindred spirits from all corners of the earth. Remember that building a community of goodness is a journey, not a destination. It's a process that evolves, grows, and deepens over time. Be patient, be persistent, and most importantly, be open-hearted. The relationships you cultivate on this journey are the threads that weave the tapestry of a life rich in purpose and meaning. Each of us has the unique opportunity to weave in threads of goodness, kindness, and positive change. As we gather here today, I want you to ponder a question that goes beyond the here and now. What legacy will you leave behind? It's a profound inquiry that challenges us to look beyond the immediate impact of our actions, the enduring mark we leave on the world. The true measure of our lives is not found in the wealth we accumulate or the accolades we receive, but in the extent to which we've enriched the lives of others. It's in the smiles we brought to faces during times of sorrow, the hands we've held through trials, and the light we've shown into the darkest of places. This, my friends, is the legacy of goodness, a legacy that outlives us and continues to ripple through time long after we're gone. Consider the story of a simple teacher who, day in and day out, poured her heart into her students. With patience and passion, she ignited in them a love for learning, a belief in their boundless potential. Years passed, and those students went on to achieve great things, all carrying with them a piece of her wisdom, her belief in their worth. Her legacy was not in the subjects she taught, but in the lives she touched, in the confidence she built, and in the future she helped shape. Now, how do we begin to build such a legacy? It starts with intentional living, with making a conscious decision each day to be a force for good in the world. It's about recognizing that every interaction is an opportunity to impact someone's life positively. First and foremost, aim commit to kindness. In a world that often celebrates the loudest voices, let us not underestimate the power of quiet acts of kindness. A word of encouragement, a gesture of compassion, these are the seeds from which a legacy of goodness grows. Invest in people. Our time on this earth is finite, but the knowledge we impart, the confidence we inspire, and the love we share endure. Be a mentor, a guide, a friend, and each person you help You plant the roots of your legacy. Not jam a cause greater than yourself. Find something you're passionate about, a social issue, a community project, an area of need, and pour your energy into making a difference. The positive changes you spearhead become pillars of your legacy, testaments to your dedication to a better world. Embrace the power of forgiveness and understanding. In doing so, we not only free ourselves from the chains of resentment, but also set an example for others to follow. A legacy built on forgiveness is one that fosters peace, healing, and unity. And remember, the legacy of goodness is not reserved for a select few. Each one of us, regardless of our station in life, has the capacity to leave behind a legacy that shines brightly in the annals of history. It's not about monumental acts. It's in the everyday choices, the moments of compassion, the willingness to make a difference. As we journey through life, carry with us the knowledge that we are writing our legacy with every breath, every action, every word. Let it be a legacy that speaks of our commitment to kindness, our passion for positive change, and our unwavering belief in the goodness of humanity. I challenge you to envision the legacy you wish to leave behind. Imagine a future where your name is remembered not for what you achieved for yourself, but for how much you contributed to the well-being of others, for the positive changes you made in the world. Let this vision guide your actions, inspire your journey, and lead you to a life of purpose, meaning, and enduring impact. The journey of making a positive impact in the world, of weaving a legacy of goodness, begins not tomorrow, not next week, but right here, right now. It starts with the small, manageable steps that each and every one of us can take today. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment or the grand opportunity. The chance to make a difference is always present in the simplicity of our daily lives. Whether it's offering a kind word to someone in need, volunteering a few hours of your time, or simply listening to a friend, these acts of kindness are the building blocks of a better world. Let me share with you a story that has stayed with me, a story that embodies the essence of everything we've talked about today. There was once an elderly man who used to walk the beach at dawn every morning without fail. One day, after a stormy night, he noticed a young person in the distance, seemingly dancing along the shore. As he got closer, he realized that the beach was littered with starfish washed ashore by the storm. And the young person wasn't dancing, but was gently picking up the starfish one by one and tossing them back into the ocean. Puzzled, the elderly man asked, "Why bother? There are thousands of starfish on this beach. You can't possibly make a difference." The young person picked up another starfish, looked at it, and threw it back into the sea and said, "I made a difference to that one." This simple act, this single moment of compassion encapsulates the power each of us holds to affect change, to contribute to the greater good, and to impact a life. It's a reminder that our journey towards leaving a legacy of goodness is made up of countless such moments, each as significant as the next. Embrace the journey ahead with open hearts and open minds. Look for the starfish in your path. Recognize the opportunities, big or small, to do good, to inspire, to lift others up. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Let that step be one of kindness, of generosity, of compassion. As you go forth, carry with you the knowledge that you have the power to make a difference, to write a story of positive impact, to leave a legacy that echoes through the ages. Let us not wait for others to lead the way. Let us be the leaders in our own lives, champions of goodness, architects of a future filled with hope and boundless possibility. The journey continues, and it continues with you. Start now in small, manageable ways and watch as those ripples of kindness spread, growing into waves of positive change that transform our world. Together, make a difference, one starfish at a time.
The mind is a powerful force, yet often it's our greatest adversary. Every day, millions of people wake up feeling overwhelmed, their thoughts racing before their feet even hit the floor. This mental chaos isn't just uncomfortable. It's stealing our peace, sapping our productivity, and holding us back from reaching our true potential. But it doesn't have to be this way. With the right approach, we can transform our minds from sources of stress into wellsprings of calm and clarity. This transformation isn't about suppressing our thoughts or achieving some perfect state of Zen. It's about developing the skills to navigate our mental landscape with purpose and grace. Think of your mind as a garden. Left unattended, weeds of worry and doubt will quickly take over. But with consistent care and the right techniques, you can cultivate a lush, vibrant space where peace and productivity thrive side by side. This journey of mental discipline isn't always easy, but the rewards are immeasurable. When we learn to direct our thoughts rather than be directed by them, we unlock new levels of focus, creativity, and resilience. We become better equipped to handle life's challenges and more open to its joys. The path to mental discipline begins with a simple yet profound shift in perspective. Our thoughts are not facts. They're not commands we must obey. They're simply mental events, like clouds passing through the sky of our consciousness. We can observe them, learn from them, but we don't have to be controlled by them. This realization is liberating. It gives us the space to step back from the constant chatter in our heads and choose which thoughts deserve our attention. It's the first step in reclaiming our mental real estate from anxiety, self-doubt, and unproductive rumination. But understanding alone isn't enough. To truly discipline our minds, we need practical strategies. Daily habits that train our mental muscles just as we would train our bodies at the gym. One of the most powerful of these strategies is mindfulness. At its core, mindfulness is about bringing our full attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about experiencing life as it unfolds rather than getting lost in a maze of what ifs and should haves. Mindfulness might sound simple, but it's a skill that requires practice. Our minds are habituated to wander, to jump from thought to thought like a monkey swinging from branch to branch. Mindfulness teaches us to gently guide our attention back to the here and now, whether we're eating a meal, having a conversation, or tackling a work project. The benefits of cultivating mindfulness are far-reaching. Research has shown that regular mindfulness practice can reduce stress, sharpen focus, improve emotional regulation, and even boost our immune system. But perhaps most importantly, it helps us break free from the tyranny of our thoughts, allowing us to respond to life with intention rather than react on autopilot. To start incorporating mindfulness into your daily life, begin with small, manageable practices. You might set aside 5 minutes each morning for a simple breathing meditation. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and focus your attention on this sensation, your breath moving in and out of your body. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently bring your attention back to your breath without judgment. As you become more comfortable with this practice, you can extend the duration of your meditation or incorporate mindfulness into other aspects of your day. Try eating one meal mindfully, savoring each bite and noticing the flavors and textures. Or take a mindful walk, paying attention to the sensation of your feet touching the ground, the rhythm of your breath, and the sights and sounds around you. Remember, the goal of mindfulness isn't to clear your mind of all thoughts. That's not possible, nor is it desirable. The goal is to become aware of your thoughts and to develop the ability to choose where you place your attention. Mindfulness is a cornerstone mental discipline, but it's not the only tool at our disposal. Another crucial skill is learning to manage our inner dialogue, the constant stream of self-talk that shapes our perceptions and influences our actions. For many of us, this inner voice is often harsh and critical. It's the voice that tells us we're not good enough, that we'll never succeed, that we don't deserve happiness. Left unchecked, this negative self-talk can erode our confidence and hold us back from pursuing our dreams. Disciplining our minds involves recognizing these negative thought patterns and consciously reframing them. This doesn't mean adopting a Pollyanna-ish outlook or denying real challenges. It's about approaching ourselves and our circumstances with a more balanced, constructive perspective. For example, instead of thinking, I always mess things up, we can train ourselves to think I've made mistakes, but I've also had successes. What can I learn from this situation? This shift might seem subtle, but over time it can profoundly impact our self-esteem, motivation, and overall well-being. Reframing our thoughts takes practice and persistence. It's about catching ourselves in the act of negative self-talk and consciously choosing a more empowering narrative. Over time, this becomes more natural, and we find ourselves automatically gravitating towards more positive, productive ways of thinking. One effective technique for reframing negative thoughts is to challenge them with evidence. When you catch yourself thinking something negative, pause and ask yourself, is this thought really true? What evidence do I have to support it? What evidence contradicts it? Often you'll find that your negative thoughts are based more on fear or past experiences than on current reality. Another powerful reframing technique is to ask yourself, what you would say to a friend in the same situation. We're often much kinder and more understanding towards others than we are to ourselves. By imagining how we'd counsel a friend, we can access a more compassionate, balanced perspective on our own challenges. As you practice reframing, you'll begin to notice a shift in your overall outlook. You'll become more resilient in the face of setbacks, more confident in your abilities, and more open to new opportunities. This positive mindset is a crucial component of mental discipline, providing the foundation for growth and success in all areas of life. Another key aspect of mental discipline is learning to manage our emotions effectively. Emotions are a natural and important part of the human experience, but when left unchecked, they can hijack our thoughts and actions, leading to impulsive decisions and unnecessary stress. Emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our emotions, is a crucial component of mental discipline. It starts with developing a greater awareness of our emotional states. Are we feeling anxious, angry, sad, excited? By naming our emotions, we begin to create some distance from them, making it easier to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Once we've identified our emotions, we can employ strategies to regulate them. This might involve deep breathing exercises to calm anxiety, physical activity to channel anger productively, or seeking social support when we're feeling down. The key is to find healthy ways to process and express our emotions rather than suppressing them or letting them control us. One effective technique for managing intense emotions is the stop method. Stop what you're doing. Take a few deep breaths. Observe what you're thinking and feeling. P, proceed with awareness. This simple technique can help you create a pause between an emotional trigger and your response, giving you the space to choose how you want to react. Cultivating emotional intelligence also involves developing empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. This not only improves our relationships, but also gives us valuable perspective on our own emotional experiences. To develop empathy, practice active listening in your conversations. Focus fully on what the other person is saying without planning your response. Try to put yourself in their shoes, imagining how they might be feeling. Ask questions to deepen your understanding. This practice of empathy not only strengthens your relationships, but also broadens your emotional vocabulary, making it easier to understand and manage your own feelings. As we work on these various aspects of mental discipline, mindfulness, positive self-talk, emotional intelligence, we begin to notice a shift. Our minds become less like stormy seas and more like calm lakes, reflecting the world around us with clarity and stillness. This inner peace doesn't mean we never experience negative thoughts or emotions. It means we have the tools to navigate them effectively, to maintain our equilibrium even in challenging circumstances. Lila, a high-powered executive who felt burned out and on the verge of quitting her job. Lila's mind was constantly racing with worries about deadlines, fears of failure, and regrets about not spending enough time with her family. She felt like she was always playing catch-up, never able to fully focus on any one task or truly be present with her loved ones. Lila started by introducing short mindfulness exercises into her daily routine, even just a few minutes of focused breathing before important meetings. At first, she was skeptical, claiming she didn't have time to sit around doing nothing. But as she persisted, she noticed a change. Lila found that she was able to approach her work with greater clarity and efficiency by learning to focus on one task at a time rather than trying to juggle multiple concerns simultaneously. She actually accomplished more in less time. Her improved focus and productivity freed up more quality time for her family, reducing her feelings of guilt and allowing her to be fully present during those precious moments. She also worked on reframing her negative self-talk. Instead of berating herself for every small mistake or perceived shortcoming, she learned to approach herself with compassion and curiosity. This shift in perspective not only improved her self-esteem, but also made her a more effective leader as she began to approach her team members with the same empathy and understanding. Over time, Lila developed a toolbox of strategies to manage her stress and maintain her mental equilibrium. When faced with a challenging situation, she would take a moment to breathe deeply and ground herself in the present moment. She learned to recognize her emotional triggers and developed healthy ways to to process difficult feelings. The transformation in Lila's life was remarkable. Not only did her work performance improve, but she also reported feeling more fulfilled both professionally and personally. She no longer felt at mercy of her racing thoughts and overwhelming emotions. Instead, she felt in control, able to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and resilience. Lila's story illustrates the profound impact that mental discipline can have on our lives, but it's important to remember that this transformation didn't happen overnight. It was the result of consistent practice and commitment to personal growth. This brings us to another crucial aspect of mental discipline, patience and persistence. Just as we wouldn't expect to transform our physical fitness after a single workout, we can't expect to master our minds in a day or a week. Mental discipline is a lifelong journey, one that requires ongoing effort and dedication. There will be days when it feels challenging, when our old thought patterns reassert themselves, or when we struggle to stay present in the face of stress. This is normal and to be expected. The key is to approach our practice with self-compassion, recognizing that setbacks are not failures but opportunities for learning and growth. One way to maintain motivation on this journey is to keep a journal of your progress. Each day, jot down one thing you did to practice mental discipline, no matter how small. Perhaps you took a few mindful breaths before a stressful meeting, or caught yourself in negative self-talk and successfully reframed your thoughts. Over time, you'll be able to look back and see how far you've come, which can be incredibly encouraging during challenging periods. It's also important to remember that mental discipline isn't about achieving some perfect state of constant calm and positivity. It's about developing the skills to navigate the full range of human experiences, the joys and the sorrows, the triumphs and the challenges, with greater ease and grace. Our relationships improve as we become more present and empathetic. Our work becomes more fulfilling as we approach it with focus and purpose. We find ourselves better able to pursue our goals and dreams, no longer held back by self-doubt or fear of failure. Moreover, we develop a greater sense of inner peace and contentment. We learn to find joy in the simple moments of life, to appreciate the beauty that surrounds us every day. We become less reactive to external circumstances and more grounded in our own sense of self-worth and purpose. This inner stability becomes particularly valuable when we face life's inevitable challenges. Consider the story of Michael, a small business owner who faced a period of economic downturn. Michael's business was struggling, and he was consumed with worry about the future. His anxiety was affecting his sleep, his relationships, and his ability to make clear decisions about his business. Through practicing mental discipline, Michael learned to approach his challenges with a clear mind. He used mindfulness to stay grounded in the present moment rather than getting lost in catastrophic predictions about the future. He learned to reframe his negative thoughts, seeing the economic downturn not just as a threat, but also as an opportunity to innovate and adapt his business model. Michael also developed strategies to manage his stress and anxiety. He incorporated regular exercise into his routine, finding that physical activity helped clear his mind and boost his mood. He practiced visualization techniques, imagining positive outcomes for his business and reinforcing his belief in his ability to navigate challenges. Perhaps most importantly, Michael learned to separate his sense of self-worth from the performance of his business. He recognized that while his work was important to him, it didn't define him as a person. This shift in perspective allowed him to approach his business challenges with greater clarity and creativity, free from the paralyzing fear of failure. As Michael applied these mental discipline techniques, he not only weathered the economic storm, but emerged stronger. He made strategic changes to his business, diversifying his offerings and reaching new markets. His improved focus and decision-making skills helped him seize opportunities that he might have missed when his mind was clouded by anxiety. Moreover, Michael found that his relationships improved. By managing his stress more effectively, he was able to be more present and supportive with his family and employees. His newfound mental resilience inspired confidence in those around him, creating a positive ripple effect throughout his personal and professional life. Michael's story demonstrates how mental discipline can be a powerful tool in navigating life's challenges. It doesn't make our problems disappear, but it equips us with the mental and emotional resources to face them head on, to find creative solutions, and to maintain our well-being in the process. As we cultivate mental discipline, we also develop a greater sense of personal power. We realize that while we can't always control external circumstances, we always have control over our response to them. This shift from a reactive to a proactive mindset is incredibly empowering. We stop seeing ourselves as victims of circumstance and start recognizing our role as creators of our own experience. We learn to take responsibility for our thoughts, emotions, and actions, understanding that these are the tools with which we shape our lives. This sense of personal power extends to how we pursue our goals and dreams. Mental discipline gives us the focus to clarify what we truly want in life, the courage to pursue it, and the resilience to persist in the face of obstacles. We become better at setting meaningful goals that align with our values and aspirations. Rather than scattering our energy on multiple fronts, we learn to prioritize what's truly important to us. We develop the ability to break down big goals into manageable steps, maintaining our motivation and momentum over the long haul. One effective technique for goal setting is to use the SMART criteria. Make sure your goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. For example, instead of setting a vague goal like I want to be healthier, you might set a SMART goal, like I will exercise for 30 minutes, 5 days a week for the next 3 months. Once you've set your goals, use visualization techniques to reinforce your commitment. Spend a few minutes each day imagining yourself achieving your goals in vivid detail. What does it look like? How does it feel? This practice not only boosts your motivation, but also helps your subconscious mind align with your conscious desires. Moreover, mental discipline helps us develop the grit and perseverance necessary to achieve our goals. We learn to see setbacks not as failures, but as valuable feedback, opportunities to learn and grow. We develop the mental toughness to push through challenges, to keep going when things get tough. This resilience is particularly valuable in today's fast-paced, ever-changing world. The ability to adapt, to stay focused on our goals, even as circumstances shift around us, is becoming increasingly crucial for success in all areas of life. One way to build resilience is to practice reframing setbacks. When you face a disappointment or a failure, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this experience make me stronger or wiser? What new opportunities might this open up? By approaching challenges with a growth mindset, you turn obstacles into stepping stones on your path to success. But perhaps the most profound benefit of mental discipline is the inner peace it cultivates. This isn't a passive state of inaction, but a dynamic equilibrium, a calm center from which we can engage with the world effectively and joyfully. This inner peace allows us to fully appreciate the present moment, to find joy in the simple pleasures of life. We become less driven by external validation and more in tune with our own inner sense of purpose and worth. We develop a deep sense of contentment that isn't dependent on achieving specific outcomes or acquiring material possessions. To cultivate this inner peace, practice gratitude daily. Each evening, reflect on 3 things you're grateful for. They can be big or small, from a major achievement at work to the warmth of sunlight on your face. This practice shifts your focus from what's lacking in your life to the abundance that's already present. Another powerful practice is to regularly engage in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment, regardless of their practical value. This might be painting, gardening, playing music, or simply taking a walk in nature. These activities help us connect with our authentic selves and remind us that life is meant to be enjoyed, not just endured. They provide a vital counterbalance to the often demanding nature of our daily responsibilities. When we make time for these soul-nourishing activities, we're not being selfish or unproductive. On the contrary, we're recharging our mental and emotional batteries, which ultimately enhances our overall well-being and productivity. These moments of joy and self-expression are essential for maintaining our mental discipline in the long run. Consider establishing a regular joy practice in your life. Set aside time each week, or even each day, if possible, for activities that bring you genuine pleasure and fulfillment. Treat this time as sacred, just as you would an important work meeting or family commitment. By prioritizing joy, you're reinforcing the idea that your mental and emotional well-being is a crucial part of your life, not just an afterthought. As we cultivate this inner peace and joy, we become better equipped to handle life's inevitable stresses and challenges. We develop a kind of emotional resilience that allows us to bounce back more quickly from setbacks and maintain our equilibrium in the face of adversity. This resilience doesn't mean we never feel upset or stressed. Rather, it means we have the tools to process these difficult emotions more effectively and return to a state of balance more quickly. We're less likely to be knocked off course by every obstacle we encounter. One way to build this resilience is through the practice of mental contrasting. This involves vividly imagining a desired outcome, then consciously considering the obstacles that might stand in your way. By doing this, you're preparing your mind to face challenges rather than being blindsided by them. You're also reinforcing your commitment to your goals by acknowledging the effort they'll require. For example, if your goal is to start a new business, you might spend some time visualizing your successful company, feeling the pride and satisfaction of achieving your dream. Then you'd consider potential obstacles: financial constraints, market competition, or your own self-doubt. By acknowledging these challenges up front, you can start developing strategies to overcome them, rather than being discouraged when you inevitably encounter difficulty. This practice of mental contrasting helps bridge the gap between our aspirations and reality. It combines the motivational power of positive thinking with the practical benefits of planning and problem solving. It's a key component of mental discipline, allowing us to pursue our goals with both optimism and realism. As we develop greater mental discipline, we often find that our relationships improve as well. When we're more in control of our thoughts and emotions, we're better able to communicate effectively, empathize with others, and navigate conflicts constructively. One aspect of this is improved emotional regulation. When we're not at the mercy of our emotional reactions, we're less likely to lash out at others in moments of stress or frustration. We can take a breath, step back, and respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. This doesn't mean suppressing our emotions or always maintaining a facade of calm. Rather, it means being able to express our feelings in healthy, constructive ways. We can communicate our needs and boundaries clearly without resorting to aggression or passive aggression. And moreover, as we become more aware of our own thought patterns and emotional triggers, we often develop greater empathy for others. We recognize that everyone is fighting their own inner battles just as we are. This understanding can lead to more compassionate, patient interactions with the people in our lives. Practice active listening in your conversations. Really focus on what the other person is saying rather than just waiting for your turn to speak. Try to understand not just their words, but the emotions and needs behind those words. This kind of deep listening can transform your relationships, creating stronger connections and mutual understanding. Another powerful tool for improving relationships is the practice of loving kindness meditation. This involves consciously cultivating feelings of love and goodwill towards others, starting with yourself and gradually extending to friends, neutral acquaintances, and even people you find difficult. Begin by sitting comfortably and focusing on your breath. Then silently repeat phrases like, "May I be happy," "May I be healthy," "May I be safe," "May I live with ease." After a few minutes, shift your focus to a loved one, repeating the same phrases for them. Gradually expand the circle of well-wishing to include more and more people. This practice might feel awkward or forced at first, but over time, it can profoundly shift your attitude towards others. You may find yourself becoming more patient, more understanding, and more inclined to give others the benefit of the doubt. This shift in perspective can have a powerful positive impact on all your relationships. As we cultivate mental discipline and inner peace, we also become better equipped to contribute positively to the world around us. Our increased self-awareness and emotional intelligence make us better friends, partners, parents, and colleagues. We're able to listen more deeply, communicate more effectively, and respond to others with greater empathy and understanding. Our mental clarity and focus allow us to be more productive and creative in our work, enabling us to make meaningful contributions in our chosen fields. Our resilience and adaptability make us valuable team members and leaders able to navigate challenges and inspire others. Furthermore, as we learn to manage our own minds more effectively, we become living examples for others. Our calm presence in the face of stress, our ability to maintain perspective in challenging situations, our capacity for joy and gratitude. All of these qualities have a positive ripple effect on those around us. how you can use your growing mental discipline to make a positive impact in your community. This might involve volunteering for a cause you care about, mentoring someone who could benefit from your experience, or simply being a supportive presence for friends and family going through difficult times. Remember, every interaction is an opportunity to practice and demonstrate mental discipline. Whether you're dealing with a frustrating customer service situation, navigating a disagreement with a loved one, or facing a major life challenge, you have the power to choose your response. By responding with patience, empathy, and wisdom, you're not only improving your own life, but also contributing to a more compassionate world. Mental discipline. It's important to remember that it's not about achieving perfection. We're not aiming for a state of constant bliss or unwavering focus. Such a goal would not only be unrealistic, but also potentially harmful, as it could lead to feelings of failure or inadequacy when we inevitably fall short. Instead, mental discipline is about progress, not perfection. It's about developing the ability to navigate the full spectrum of human experience with greater ease and grace. It's about building resilience so that we can bounce back more quickly from setbacks. It's about cultivating self-awareness so that we can make conscious choices rather than being driven by unconscious habits and reactions. One way to reinforce this mindset of progress over perfection is to regularly reflect on your growth. At the end of each week or month, take some time to consider how you've applied mental discipline in your life. What challenges do you face? How did you respond? What did you learn? By acknowledging your progress, you reinforce your commitment to this journey and motivate yourself to keep growing. It's also crucial to approach this practice with self-compassion. There will be times when you slip back into old patterns of thinking or behaving. When this happens, resist the urge to berate yourself. Instead, treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a good friend. Acknowledge the slip-up, learn from it if you can, and then recommit to your practice. Remember, every moment is an opportunity to begin again. Each breath is a chance to return to the present, to choose your focus, to realign with your values and intentions. This is the true power of mental discipline. Not that we never falter, but that we always have the ability to start anew. As you progress on this journey, you may find that your definition of success and happiness begins to shift. Many of us have been conditioned to believe that happiness comes from external achievements, a certain job title, a particular income level, a specific type of relationship. But as we develop greater mental discipline and inner peace, we often discover that true fulfillment comes from within. We begin to value experiences over possessions, growth over stagnation, connection over competition. We find joy in the process of living, rather than constantly postponing our happiness to some future point when we've achieved all our goals. This shift doesn't mean we stop striving or growing. On the contrary, we may find ourselves more motivated than ever to pursue our aspirations. The difference is that we're driven by an intrinsic desire for growth and contribution, rather than by fear, insecurity, or the need for external validation. We become more aligned with our authentic selves, more in tune with our true values and desires. We're less swayed by societal expectations or others' opinions of what we should do or be. This authenticity is incredibly liberating and can lead to a profound sense of peace and contentment. It's worth considering how you can integrate these practices into your daily life. The key is to start small and build consistently. Don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight. Instead, choose one or two practices that resonate with you and commit to incorporating them into your routine. Perhaps you'll start with a 5-minute mindfulness practice each morning. Or maybe you'll focus on reframing negative thoughts as they arise throughout the day. You might commit to a daily gratitude practice or set aside time each week for activities that bring you joy. Whatever you choose, approach it with patience and persistence. Remember, you're developing new mental habits and this takes time. Be consistent in your practice, but also be flexible. If one approach isn't working for you, don't be afraid to try something different. Also, consider seeking support on this journey. This might involve sharing your goals with a trusted friend or family member who can encourage you and hold you accountable. You might join a meditation group or take a class on mindfulness or emotional intelligence. Some people find it helpful to work with a therapist or life coach who can provide personalized guidance and support. Remember, the goal of mental discipline isn't to eliminate all negative thoughts or emotions. It's not about achieving a state of constant happiness or tranquility. Life will always have its ups and downs, its challenges and disappointments. The aim of mental discipline is to develop the skills to navigate these experiences with greater ease and resilience. It's about creating a sense of inner stability that allows you to remain grounded even when the world around you is in chaos. It's about developing the clarity to make wise choices, the courage to pursue your dreams, and the compassion to treat yourself and others with kindness. As you continue on this journey of mental discipline, you'll likely find that its benefits extend far beyond your own life. As you become more centered, more compassionate, more resilient, you'll naturally have a positive impact on those around you. Your calm presence in the face of stress, your ability to listen deeply and communicate clearly, your capacity for joy and gratitude, all of these will inspire and uplift others. In this way, the practice of mental discipline becomes not just a personal journey, but a way of contributing to a better world. By cultivating peace within yourself, you become a source of peace for others. By developing the ability to respond to life's challenges with wisdom and compassion, you create a ripple effect that touches countless lives. Embark on this journey of mental discipline with passion and determination. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. Remember that every small step counts, every moment of mindfulness matters, every act of self-compassion is significant. You have within you the power to transform your mind, to cultivate inner peace, to live with greater purpose and fulfillment. The path of mental discipline offers you the tools to unlock this potential. It's a journey that requires patience, persistence, and courage, but the rewards are beyond measure. I invite you to make a commitment to yourself. Choose one practice we've discussed, whether it's mindfulness, reframing negative thoughts, practicing gratitude, or something else, and pledge to incorporate it into your daily life. Start small, be consistent, and watch as these small changes begin to transform your mental landscape. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Today, you've taken that step. You've opened yourself to the possibility of greater mental discipline, of deeper inner peace. Now, it's up to you to continue this journey one breath, one thought, one moment at a time. Thank you for your attention and openness. May your path be filled with growth, discovery, and ever-deepening peace. You know, what's worse than failing? Successfully living someone else's life because you doubted your ability to live your own. Every day, I watch brilliant minds settle for mediocre lives, passionate hearts settle for lukewarm relationships, and extraordinary potential settle for ordinary existence. Not because they tried and failed, but because doubt convinced them that settling was safer than striving. Your doubt isn't wisdom. It's fear dressed up in a business suit, pretending to be responsible while it slowly suffocates your dreams. When was the last time doubt stopped you from taking action? That crucial moment when your dreams were within reach, but that small voice inside whispered, "What if you fail?" And you listened. Let me tell you about doubt. It's not just a feeling. It's a thief, a silent assassin that kills more dreams than failure ever could. Because failure teaches us. Failure makes us stronger. But doubt prevents us from even trying. I've spent decades studying human potential, and I can tell you with absolute certainty that the greatest tragedy in life isn't failure. It's the countless dreams that never even get a chance because doubt murdered them in their cradle. Think about the business you never started, the relationship you never pursued, the book you never wrote, the life you never dared to live, all because doubt convinced you that you weren't ready, weren't worthy, weren't good enough. But here's what's fascinating about doubt. It's a liar, a masterful one. It presents itself as wisdom, as prudence, as rational thinking. It disguises itself as protection, making you believe it's keeping you safe. But safe from what? Safe from growth. Safe from success. Safe from becoming everything you were meant to be. The human mind is remarkable. When we're young, we don't know enough to doubt ourselves. A child learning to walk doesn't think about the physics of balance or worry about looking foolish. They just try, fall, get up, and try again. They fail their way to success. But somewhere along the way, we learn to doubt, we learn to fear, we learn to limit ourselves. Consider this, every major breakthrough in human history came from someone who refused to listen to doubt. Every invention, every discovery, every step forward happened because someone said, maybe I'll fail, but I'm going to try anyway. The Wright brothers were told that human flight was impossible. Every expert, every scientist, every rational mind said it couldn't be done. But they didn't let doubt win. They didn't let the fear of failure stop them. They kept working, kept trying, kept believing, and they changed the world. But doubt isn't just about the big things. It's in the small daily decisions too. It's in the moment you want to speak up in a meeting, but stay silent. It's in the gym membership you buy, but never use. It's in the dreams you only talk about in the past tense, as if they're already dead and buried. Let me share something powerful with you. Doubt has a schedule. It shows up precisely when you're about to do something important, when you're about to make a change. When you're about to grow, that's not a coincidence. That's doubt doing its job, trying to keep you exactly where you are. But here's what most people don't understand about doubt. It's not trying to protect you from failure. It's trying to protect you from change. Because change, any change, means leaving your comfort zone. And your mind, programmed for survival, interprets that as danger. Think about your comfort zone like a thermostat. When things get too hot, when you start pushing boundaries, taking risks, growing, doubt kicks in like air conditioning, trying to bring you back to your preset temperature, back to what's familiar, back to what's safe. But growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. Success doesn't live there. Your dreams don't exist there. They live in the space beyond, in the unknown, in the uncertain, in the uncomfortable. The most successful people aren't the ones who never feel doubt. They feel it just like everyone else. The difference is they've learned to recognize it for what it is, a signal that they're moving in the right direction. They've learned to interpret doubt not as a stop sign, but as a green light, not as a warning, but as a challenge. When doubt whispers you can't, they respond with watch me. When it says you're not ready, they say I'll learn as I go. When it says you might fail, they say so what if I do? This isn't about ignoring risk or being reckless. It's about understanding the difference between rational caution and irrational fear, between thoughtful planning and paralysis by analysis, between preparing to act and using preparation as an excuse never to begin. Look at your life right now. Look at where you are versus where you want to be. How much of that gap exists not because you tried and failed, but because doubt convinced you not to try at all? How many opportunities have you missed not because you weren't capable, but because you weren't confident? The truth is, doubt is a bigger dream killer than failure could ever be. Failure only stops you once when it happens. But doubt stops you 1,000 times before you even begin. It kills dreams in their infancy, before they have a chance to grow, to develop, to become real. The most dangerous thing about doubt isn't its presence, it's how reasonable it sounds. It comes dressed in the language of wisdom. Be realistic, it says. Think this through, consider the risks. And while these sound like prudent thoughts, they often mask a deeper fear, the fear of leaving our comfort zone. Let me share something profound about the human mind. We are hardwired to overestimate risks and underestimate our capabilities. Our ancestors survived by being cautious, by avoiding unnecessary risks. But we live in a different world now. The risks that hold us back aren't physical dangers. They're psychological barriers. Every day, people just like you overcome seemingly impossible odds. They start businesses with no experience. They change careers in their 50s. They learn new languages, master new skills, build new lives. Not because they don't feel doubt, but because they refuse to let doubt have the final say. Think about your own life for a moment. Think about the times when you pushed through doubt and took action anyway. What happened, even if things didn't work out perfectly? Didn't you learn something valuable? Didn't you grow stronger? Didn't you prove to yourself that you could survive outside your comfort zone? Here's a powerful truth. Doubt feeds on isolation. It grows stronger when we keep it to ourselves. When we share our dreams, when we speak our fears aloud, when we connect with others who understand our journey, doubt loses its power. It can't survive in the light of shared experience and mutual support. But there's something even more insidious about doubt. It's contagious. When we let doubt stop us from pursuing our dreams, we don't just hurt ourselves. We unconsciously give permission to others to do the same. We become living proof that doubt wins. That dreams are just fantasies, that playing it safe is the only sensible choice. Consider this. Every time you let doubt win, you're not just affecting your own life. You're affecting everyone who looks up to you, everyone who might have been inspired by your courage, everyone who might have found the strength to pursue their own dreams by watching you pursue yours. The cost of doubt isn't just personal, it's generational. When we let doubt stop us, we pass that legacy of fear and limitation to our children, our colleagues, our communities, we perpetuate a cycle of unrealized potential that can span generations. But here's the good news. Just as doubt can be contagious, so can courage. When you push through doubt, when you take action despite your fears, you become living proof that it's possible. You become a beacon of hope for others who are wrestling with their own doubts. Think about the dreams you're holding back right now, the goals you've pushed to someday, the changes you know you need to make but keep postponing. What would happen if you decided right now that doubt no longer gets a vote in your decisions? I'm not suggesting you'll never feel doubt again, you will. But what if you change your relationship with doubt? What if, instead of seeing it as a warning to stop, you saw it as a sign that you're growing? What if you started treating doubt as a compass pointing toward your growth edge? Here's a powerful exercise. Write down your biggest dream, the one that makes your heart race, the one that doubt has been keeping you from pursuing. Now write down every doubt you have about achieving it. Every what if, every reason why you think you can't. Look at that list of doubts. Really look at it. Notice how many of them are based on fear rather than fact. Notice how many are about what others might think. Notice how many are really just excuses dressed up as reasons. Now imagine what your life would look like 1 year from now if you decided to pursue that dream despite those doubts. Imagine looking back and realizing that those doubts, which seem so convincing, were really just paper tigers, scary on the surface, but ultimately harmless. The truth is, most of our doubts are based on stories. We tell ourselves stories about what we're capable of, stories about what we deserve, stories about what's possible. But here's the thing about stories. We can change them. We can write new ones. We can choose different endings. Every significant achievement in history started with someone who had doubts but took action anyway. Every successful person you admire has felt the same doubts you're feeling right now. The difference isn't in the presence or absence of doubt. It's in what they chose to do despite it. Think about this. What if doubt isn't your enemy? What if it's actually a tool for growth? What if every time you feel doubt, it's simply highlighting an area where you need to develop, learn, or strengthen yourself? When doubt tells you you're not qualified, maybe it's pointing you toward the skills you need to develop. When it says you're not ready, maybe it's showing you where you need to prepare. When it whispers you might fail, maybe it's inviting you to plan more thoroughly. The key is to stop letting doubt be the end of the conversation. Let it be the beginning. Let it be the question that leads to action, not the excuse that leads to inaction. Your relationship with doubt determines the size of your life. It determines whether you'll live in the vast expanse of possibility or the cramped quarters of certainty. It determines whether you'll be the author of your story or merely a character in someone else's. Let's talk about something that few people understand about doubt. It often masquerades as intelligence. It presents itself as careful consideration, as due diligence, as smart planning. But there's a crucial difference between thoughtful analysis and perpetual hesitation, between preparation and procrastination. The most damaging form of doubt isn't the loud, obvious fear that screams, "Don't do it." It's the quiet, persistent voice that says, "Not yet." It's the voice that keeps you in perpetual preparation mode, always getting ready but never actually beginning. Always learning, but never doing. Always planning, but never executing. Here that might shake you. You will never feel completely ready. Never. The people you admire, the ones who've achieved what you dream of achieving, they weren't ready either. They just started anyway. They understood that action creates clarity. That movement creates momentum. That courage isn't the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Think about the technology you use every day. The smartphone in your pocket, the internet that connects you to the world, the transportation that moves you from place to place. None of these existed until someone decided to push through their doubts and try something that had never been done before. But doubt doesn't just affect the big innovations. It affects the small daily choices that ultimately shape our lives. The decision to speak up in a meeting. The choice to start a difficult conversation. The commitment to make a change in your health, your relationships, your career. Every time you let doubt win in these small moments, you're training yourself to retreat. You're strengthening the neural pathways that lead to inaction. You're building a habit of surrender rather than a habit of courage. Consider this. What if everything you want is on the other side of doubt? What if doubt isn't a wall but a door that opens to everything you've ever dreamed of achieving? Would you let that door remain closed just because you're uncertain about what lies beyond it? The most successful people in any field aren't those who never doubt. They're those who act despite their doubts. They've learned to use doubt as fuel rather than letting it become a barrier. They understand that doubt is often a sign that they're pushing their boundaries, expanding their comfort zone, growing into their potential. Start seeing doubt as a growth indicator. When you feel doubt, instead of retreating, ask yourself, what is this doubt trying to teach me? What skill do I need to develop? What knowledge do I need to acquire? What action do I need to take? The greatest tragedy isn't failing after trying. It's never knowing what might have been possible, because doubt kept you from trying at all. It's reaching the end of your life and realizing that your biggest regrets aren't the failures you experienced, but the attempts you never made. Think about the dreams you've abandoned because of doubt, the goals you've given up on, the potential you've left unexplored. Now, imagine if you could go back and encourage your younger self. What would you say? Would you tell them to listen to their doubts, to play it safe, to stay small? Or would you tell them to be brave, take the chance, to believe in themselves even when doubt whispers that they're not enough? You can't go back and change the past, but you can be that voice of encouragement for yourself right now. You can be the one who says yes when doubt says no. You can be the one who takes action when fear says wait. There's something profound about doubt. It often grows stronger the closer you get to breakthrough. Just when you're about to achieve something significant, doubt intensifies. It's like the last push in a workout. The hardest part comes right before the breakthrough. Understanding this pattern can help you persist when doubt is at its strongest. When you feel overwhelmed by doubt, it might not be a sign to stop. It might be a sign that you're closer than ever to achieving your goal. Think about a time when you pushed through doubt and succeeded. Remember how the doubt felt insurmountable before you took action, but manageable once you were in motion. Remember how the very thing you doubted became the thing you were most proud of. The relationship between doubt and action is like a seesaw. As one rises, the other falls. The more you act, the less power doubt has over you. The more you prove to yourself that you can handle uncertainty, the less threatening that uncertainty becomes. Let's talk about something rarely discussed: the compound effect of overcoming doubt. Each time you push through doubt and take action, you're not just achieving a specific goal. You're building a foundation of confidence that will serve you in every area of your life. When you learn to handle doubt in one area, that skill transfers to others. When you prove to yourself that you can start a business despite doubt, you become more capable of handling doubt in your relationships. When you push through doubt in your fitness journey, you become more resilient to doubt in your career. But here's the catch: this compound effect works both ways. Every time you let doubt win, you're not just affecting that one decision, you're reinforcing a pattern of surrender. You're teaching yourself that doubt is right, that play it safe is the best option, that staying in your comfort zone is the smart choice. Consider this. What if the very things you're most afraid of, failure, rejection, looking foolish, are actually the experiences you need most? What if these challenges aren't obstacles to your success, but stepping stones toward it? The most successful people aren't those who never fail. They're those who aren't paralyzed by the possibility of failure. They understand that failure is not the opposite of success. It's a component of success. They see doubt not as a stop sign, but as a yield sign. Reminder to proceed with awareness, but proceed nonetheless. Here's a powerful truth about doubt. It often shows up strongest when you're about to do something important, when you're about to make a change that could transform your life, when you're about to step into your true potential. Doubt isn't just fear of failure. It's fear of success. Because success means change. It means responsibility. It means becoming someone new. And part of you, the part that's comfortable with who you are now, resists that change. That resistance manifests as doubt. Think about the dreams you have right now, the goals you want to achieve, the person you want to become. Now ask yourself, what would happen if you approached those dreams with the same certainty you feel about your ability to walk or breathe? What if you could see doubt for what it really is? Not a prediction of failure, but a sign that you're pushing your boundaries, not a warning to stop, but an invitation to grow. The most dangerous form of doubt isn't the kind that makes you question your abilities. It's the kind that makes you question your worth, the kind that whispers, who are you to try this? Who are you to want more? Who are you to think you could succeed? But here's the truth. You don't need permission to pursue your dreams. You don't need to prove yourself worthy of success. Your desires, your ambitions, your dreams, they're evidence enough of your potential. Every great achievement in human history started with someone who had doubts but acted anyway. Every innovation, every breakthrough, every step forward in human progress came from people who felt the same doubts you're feeling right now. The difference wasn't in their circumstances, their talents, or their opportunities. The difference was in their response to doubt. Instead of letting doubt be the end of their story, they made it the beginning. What if the presence of doubt in your life isn't a bug? It's a feature. What if doubt isn't trying to stop you? It's trying to prepare you. What if doubt isn't your enemy? It's your ally in disguise. When doubt makes you question whether you can handle failure, it's pushing you to develop resilience. When it makes you question whether you're prepared enough, it's pushing you to develop competence. When it makes you question whether you deserve success, it's pushing you to develop self-worth. The key is to stop seeing doubt as something to eliminate and start seeing it as something to harness. To stop trying to silence the voice of doubt and start using it as a catalyst for growth. Here's a powerful exercise. The next time doubt shows up, don't fight it. Don't try to push it away. Instead, get curious about it. Ask it questions. What are you trying to teach me? What do I need to learn? What action do I need to take? Transform your relationship with doubt by understanding this fundamental truth. Doubt isn't a wall, it's a doorway. Every time you feel doubt, you're standing at the threshold of opportunity. The only question is whether you'll retreat or step through. Let me share something powerful about the nature of achievement. Everything feels impossible until it's done. Every skill seems unattainable until it's mastered. Every goal appears unreachable until it's accomplished. The gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't filled with ability. It's filled with action. Think about the most successful moments in your life, the times when you achieved something significant. Were you completely free of doubt when you started? Or did you succeed not because doubt was absent, but because your commitment was stronger than your doubt? Is what most people don't realize about success. It's not about eliminating doubt. It's about developing the strength to act despite it. It's about building the resilience to keep moving forward even when the path isn't clear. It's about trusting that clarity comes through action, not before it. The most dangerous lie doubt tells us is that we need to feel ready before we begin, that we need to feel confident before we take action, that we need to have everything figured out before we start. But readiness is a myth. Confidence is a result, not a prerequisite. Clarity comes from engagement, not contemplation. Consider this. Rest. Every expert was once a beginner. Every success story started with uncertainty. Every breakthrough began with someone who wasn't sure they could do it, but tried anyway. The difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who don't isn't the presence or absence of doubt. It's their response to it. Your doubts don't define you. Your actions do. Your fears don't determine your future. Your choices do. Your uncertainties don't limit your potential. Your beliefs do. And the beautiful thing about beliefs is that they can be changed. They can be strengthened. They can be rebuilt. Here's a truth that might transform your perspective. Doubt isn't personal. It's not a reflection of your worth or your potential. It's simply a natural response to stepping outside your comfort zone. The bigger the step, the stronger the doubt. But that doesn't make the doubt, right? It just makes it normal. Think about the cost of letting doubt win. Not just the immediate cost of missed opportunities, but the compound cost over time. The relationships never formed, the businesses never started, the lives never changed. The potential never realized. When you let doubt stop you, you're not just saying no to an opportunity. You're saying no to all the possibilities that opportunity might have led to. But here's the good news. Just as the cost of doubt compounds over time, so does the reward of overcoming it. Each time you push through doubt, you build confidence. Each time you take action despite uncertainty, you develop resilience. Each time you face your fears, you expand your capacity for courage. The question isn't whether you'll feel doubt. You will. The question is whether you'll let that doubt define your limits or drive your growth. Whether you'll let it be a barrier or use it as a bridge. Whether you'll let it stop you or strengthen you. Remember this. The size of your life is directly proportional to your willingness to act in the face of doubt. The impact you have, the success you achieve, the difference you make, all of these are determined not by your doubts, but by your response to them. Your future self is watching you right now, watching to see what you'll do with your doubts, watching to see whether you'll let them stop you or spur you forward, watching to see whether you'll choose comfort or growth, safety or possibility, limitation or potential. The choice is yours, the power is yours, the future is yours, but only if you're willing to feel the doubt and act anyway. Only if you're willing to step through the door of uncertainty into the realm of possibility. Only if you're willing to trade the comfort of certainty for the thrill of becoming everything you're capable of being. It's not your enemy, it's not your friend, it's simply a challenge. A challenge that asks, how badly do you want it? How far are you willing to go? How much are you willing to grow? Your answer to these questions, not in words, but in actions, will determine everything. It will determine whether your dreams remain dreams or become reality. Whether your potential remains potential or becomes achievement. Whether your life remains as it is or becomes everything it could be. What the arm is now. The only question is, what will you do with your doubt? Will you let it stop you, or will you let it strengthen you? Will you let it define your limits, or will you let it drive your growth? Will you let it be the end of your story, or will you make it the beginning of your transformation? Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will, but only if you let it. The power to choose differently is yours, right here, right now. The future is waiting. Your dreams are waiting. Your potential is waiting. What are you waiting for?